Hey everyone, it's Mark Nizzle. I'm logged in over at my Bandersnatch account. I wanted to make a quick video real fast because today is the day. I'm going to ascend a couple of my 5-star heroes. I want to kind of talk about some of the considerations I went through, and maybe this video will help you, weigh in all factors when it's time for you to make those tough decisions on who gets the materials and who is the right hero to ascend for your game. So let's just hop in. We'll take a look at some of the stuff, and we'll kind of brainstorm through this together. So I wanted to go over to the materials first and kind of show you guys where I'm at. In terms of rare materials, or well, legendary materials rather, I have 3 Damascus blades. I have 5 Toma tactics. They're needed for every 5-star hero to ascend. And then in terms of colors, I got enough telescopes, tonics, 7 poison darts, and 11 tabards. So I can, in theory, ascend 3 heroes, and then the limitation would be 1 of each color. So that's kind of where I'm at, and this is kind of the situations that I've been into in terms of the other materials that I would need. Orbs, blades. I pretty much have everything to at least just do 1 of each color, minus red, but I don't have any on the waiting list for that anyway. So that is my materials. Let me bring up my heroes really fast, kind of show you where I'm at. Alright, so at this point in the game, the very top row here is the heroes that I have maxed out and final ascended. These are my 5 best heroes, and if you see, like going through, I got Kiona. She's got a couple talents on her. One of the big things that I would say that you want to start weighing in now is what class your hero is in. I made the mistake of ascending 3 heroes, Zelene, Guinevere, and Asarnia, and if you look at the top left, they're all in the wizard class. So one of the issues that I'm running up against is the lack of emblems to add these talents. So like Asarnia, basically at this point on the talent grid, I'm got 29 emblems, and it's 65 just for that first talent on a 5-star. As you go down the road, 50 and 50. So if you're adding 3 talents to one of these heroes, you're going to need 165 emblems just to kind of get started. So that was a mistake that I've kind of made, and at the time when I ascended these heroes, this was before the class stuff kind of came out. So I kind of committed to that. Some of the reasoning and stuff as well is that I wanted to kind of mix my heroes based off of having good tank heroes like Guinevere and Ares, a sniper like Kiona, and some people that kind of hit everybody like Asarnia and Zelene. I also ascended Aslar. He's down here. He's from a barbarian class, and that was kind of like my first barbarian. So I would say this: if you guys are looking to ascend heroes, I would certainly calculate your talents and where you're at with that. So let's take a look at some emblems here. So we know it's about 165 emblems to put 3 talents on a hero. So I like to plan around that, and heroes and classes that we could particularly weigh and measure against would be sorcerers, monks, druids looks pretty good, clerics look good, rangers, and fighters. I have basically 160 emblems or more in those classes, so that's definitely one of those factors that you want to consider, because it's all about talents these days. Especially with like season 1 heroes. Season 1 heroes, can kind of max out around like 750, and then if you add some talents, then they're quickly up in the 770s. As most of these heroes of the month, the game has steadily increased in power on these heroes. That's kind of their marketing strategy to force you to go out to the portal to put some money into the game, is that now you're getting the new hero of the month at maybe 770 power. So the talents are really important for any of your heroes, because that is the way to get them back onto an equal playing field, and just long-term approach and strategy of the game will be, soon we'll be starting to see 800 power heroes as people get further along. in the game as things progress. All right, so let's look at some of the heroes that I can basically final ascend today, and we'll kind of look at some stuff there. So heroes that I could final ascend are basically on the second row. So I have an Evelyn that could be ready for a final ascension here. She's a great hero. She kind of fits a lot of my game. She's also a ranger class. I don't have any rangers taking these emblems, so I have a good deal of those. So these are some of the things that kind of play pretty good. Just speaking on Evelyn, because I am a big fan of her, and I'm strongly weighing her in right now, is one I know I got the emblems for. When I do raid attacks, I normally will run two green heroes, so I'm using Evelyn a lot to kind of debuff and bring defense down. And then I have Zelene, who is a fast mana hero who hits everybody, debuffs, and brings attack down. So that's kind of like a 1-2 punch in my raids, when I'm going after, like blue tanks and different things in the arenas. So there is definitely a lot of use for her. Also, when you're going up against blue titans, it's very nice to have somebody that's attacking from a stronger color, and then also bringing that defense down. So any situation where you're color stacking, this is one of the great heroes. Another thing that really saves me out with her a lot is this element link. When I'm running the 2-2-1 lineup with 2 greens, or if I'm going in against a titan, this element link where she's bringing 4% health to all your allies over 6 turns really does go a long way. So that's another good benefit to her, and I would definitely say that she's probably one of my candidates right now. I'm also looking at Drake Fong. Drake Fong is in the monk class. I don't have any monks that are final ascended, so there's plenty of emblems on hand. I also like him for a couple reasons. If you look at my yellow heroes, I have Guinevere, so she's a tank. I kind of need a little bit of firepower. I think Drake Fong kind of does that with the 270 damage to everybody. He also is bringing out blinding, and he's giving you a little bit of an attack and a defense boost. So, there's some good value for him for seeing raids. There's some good value for him in Titans as well. The blinding really does go a long way, and he's pretty well rounded. I mean, 611 on the attack, 599 on the shield. He's a well balanced hero, and he's at 665 with, right now on 370, which is pretty good. Most of the time, when heroes are on this level, they might be in the 650 range if they're like an original season 1 hero. So he's rated pretty good already. So Edgar is another guy that I have up and running. So looking at him, just fitting my needs of my team. I have Ares as a tank. I have Guinevere as a tank. Do I really need a third tank right now? Ares is also from the Paladin class, so I really don't have much emblems for him right now. I do think he's a great hero. I think when it's time, he probably will get ascended at some point. But, if I can only do 3, he's going to probably be in the 3 slot at best. So, that's some of the decisions that I kind of go up against. Quintus is in a sorcerer class, so, that kind of bodes well for him when I'm evaluating him. However, he's a slow mana hero, and I already have a Sarnia and Aslar. These both are slow heroes as well. So I'm not really looking to add another slow hero to my arsenal. So that's some of the stuff that kind of ruling him out. Looking at Rumpelstiltskin, he is also in the sorcerer class. He does 3 random things. So he can be a healer. He can be in a defense down and attack boost for you guys, for our guys on our side, and defense down for the enemy. And then he can also deal 270 damage to all enemies. And then he has like a poison counter where he can do damage over 3 turns in addition to that. So he's one of those heroes that kind of does a little bit of everything. He's very much a wild card. I think that's a good term for a guy shuffling some cards. So he has definitely some heavy weighing options as well. Then I'm looking at some of these other guys down here. They might not be ready today, but I have a June that is ready to go. He hits really hard. He would be a nice yellow sniper. He's also in the monk class, so I think he's a good consideration. But when I compare him head to head with Drake Fong, you see Drake Fong already has 13 more power than him. So that kind of does go a long way into the rating. I got some other 5 stars that are not ready yet. So like Atamos and Kunshin. And the same thing here, like Barbarian. I already have a Barbarian. He's a slow mana, so he's been kind of ruled out. I think Kunshin is a great hero. He's in Cleric. He's also slow. I'm not really looking for any more slow heroes. I got 2 that are already ascended. So right now, I'm not really thinking that he's going to be a priority because of my tanks that I already have in my lineup. So I kind of ruled him out. Magni, he is probably my favorite season 1 hero that I have. He's a great blue sniper. He's definitely squishy. His shield is relatively low, but he's coming from a fighter class where I don't have any heroes. And he's a fast mana, hard hidden hero that kind of bodes well with Asarnia. So like if Asarnia is on my raid team, she will knock people down, and then Magni kind of gets the one-shot kills on that overall defense down. So he's definitely part of a 1-2 punch, and he's definitely a consideration for sure for what I'm doing. I got a second Evelyn, so I'm definitely a big fan of her. Green is definitely one of my strong colors, so I've been working on that second one, getting that one up as well. I have Frida. This is basically the blue Evelyn equivalent. Some defense down here. She's going to boost up against her weaker color for her allies, so she comes very handy for attacking Titans for blue stack, where you might see some green. So like you might see a team sometimes when you're raiding like red and green, where you have that strong color kind of protecting the weak color. Frida can really kind of be handy in those red and green raid matchups and the other stuff that comes along. She also does a debuff, which is nice for, those 10-star rare ancient tigers that are red, that have some counter ability to them. So I definitely like her. I think she's well-rounded, but she's coming from a paladin class right now. Paladin's definitely a class I don't have good emblems in, so kind of putting her on hold. So going down here, I got some 3 stars that, haven't even been started yet. I recently got the Guardian Panther. She's coming from a fighter class where I don't have any heroes. She's doing some elemental defense down, and she's hitting 3 heroes with fast mana. I have Kiona, who's a nice sniper already. I think at some point, Guardian Panther is going to be a priority. Albie, I think everybody hates this guy passionately. He is basically reviving heroes. He's giving you some healing over 4 turns. And then he's also doing a mana boost. So while he's slow mana, if he gets to the point where his special goes off once, I believe that this moderate amount of boost is making him like an average mana once his special goes off. So then, you start to see a little bit more healing. You see his specials going off. He's reviving people. He can really be a nightmare after he gets his first special off. I like this guy a lot. He's in the druid class. So, he's definitely up there, but he's not ready today. So I'm going to hold off on him. So that kind of just shows you, just some of the stuff that I kind of look at and evaluate. So I basically have decided, and I've asked people for their feedback, but the 2 heroes that I'm selecting today to ascend is Evelyn and Drake Fong. I raid with this team right here. I'll show it to you. I raid with this team a lot. So Evelyn is definitely like one of my go-to everyday players. So I'm definitely ascending her right now. The reason why I'm doing Drake Fong is because I use Guinevere Guinevere is my only yellow hero, and she's basically one of the best tanks in the game. So I feel like when I'm in war and when I'm in raiding, I really kind of need like a strong, well balanced yellow attacking hero. So that's going to be the one I select. So let's go ahead and we'll start redeeming some supplies here. And then we will also do Drake Fong. So yep, we got everything there for him. So let's go ahead, we'll send him as well. And if we look at materials, we basically we have enough to do like one other hero. I could do a blue, or I could ascend a purple hero right now. But I'm going to hold off. I'm going to force myself to focus on the Drake Fong and the Evelyn that I just ascended, to get them maxed out, add them into my game. I do put a couple dollars into this account specifically per month. I like to chase after heroes of the month. I like to chase after the event heroes as well. So I always say that if you're putting money into this game, definitely hold off on your supplies and force yourself into these decisions where you're evaluating against 5 heroes and your current status in the game, and not just go ahead and redeem all this stuff because I have everything right now for Coinus. Always plan for tomorrow is definitely probably my biggest advice. Is what might be the hero today for you that fits your game might not be the hero of tomorrow. So that's pretty much my wrap up there. I hope you guys enjoyed me thinking through this with you guys, showing you some stuff to maybe help you out and make the best decision possible with your materials. And if you guys have any questions or anything, just leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you guys shortly. All right, have a great day.